What's up, YouTube? This is Max D. Decker here with another review for you at YouTube. And this time it's the Iron Man Mark 6, the Avengers re-release for the Avengers movie. Came out last year, which, yeah, this Marvel Select is pretty good, you know. Get to him, here. His base, I really like the little details they have in this base, even though it's pretty plain, but it does have, details. This is like I think it's like supposed to be maybe a little bit of an armory or the helicarrier door thing, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty nice. It fits fairly well with my armory right here. Just kind of sits there, but with the figure itself, this figure has some pretty good articulations from here to here, but then the legs are pretty bad, and the head articulation is a little bad. So I want to love this figure, but I kind of don't. He's also a little bit shorter. This is kind of a figure that you can show that Marvel Select really upped their game since, last year or, a few years ago, 2009, when this figure originally released. Because this has the exact same paint as the Iron Man 2 Iron Man figure, except they painted the eyes black, which, I don't know. Which, his face sculpt as Tony Stark isn't the worst, but they definitely have gotten way better with, this head sculpt is way better. So this is kind of like one of those figures you should get if you want to have an older figure and see how they've gotten way better. But this figure is still pretty sweet. Yeah, he's a little bit shorter than the Mark 42 Iron Man, which is a bit disappointing. I wish they were kind of the same size, but, Iron Man should be a little taller. But he's not that bad, He's got some great paint, but it likes to chip, and he's got some great detail on all the lines. And, like, his repulsor triangle actually has blue and white. But, he has this cool feature, which I wish Mark 42 had it, where this was sculpted with the helmet on the top or something, or had this ability, but it fits there pretty tightly, so it's a little bit hard to remove and place, but you just kind of set it there and it fits in pretty nicely. Now you have him with his Iron Man. It's pretty nice, kind of wish they would have started out with just removing the head and have a Tony Stark head, but it's okay. For articulation, his head does not go up that high, it just doesn't, but it does go side to side, so you can kind of do a repulsor blast look from the side. He has his elbow pads that have a ball joint that like to fall off easily, but they can move them around wherever you want. His arms go out about that high, then go forward, and bicep swivel bends at one point at the elbow, and his hands are on a ball joint thing, which he comes with extra hands, which I like the detailing on the hands. You just kind of pop them off, and then he has a small little ball joint, and then you can pop them on like that. It's a bit tight. Oh, there we go. So it's nice that it's a bit tight, but his ab crunch, it goes down nice, so you can look down really well. He cannot look up too much, and it goes side to side. He also has this kind of cool feature. It's also kind of pointless, kind of. I wish it was more on a hinge joint instead of a ball joint, because these like to fall off, especially this one. So I super glued it a little to make it tighter so it actually stay there. But this is like his brake thing while he's flying. It's a pretty sweet feature to have, It's kind of nice, and also detailing in the back. And then his legs are the worst. How I have him like this is pretty much about as far out as you can get him, and so I kind of display him like this. But you can go like that, and then it's like, oh, it's really annoying. But it usually stays, you know, I don't know, like that close, so I kind of try to, because it's really sculpted, it's not a ball joint, it's just really sculpted that way, so I kind of do this, try to force it to be separated a little bit, because I like his legs to be like that, but that's as far as you can get him that way, you know, you can bend it a little bit to get more articulation, but it's pretty terrible. Then he has this swivel, and then there's the marking things. It's not on the bottom of the feet. Bottom of the feet is nicely sculpted, but he has this kind of weird one leg or one joint, knee joint. Kind of looks kind of weird, you know. It's got all that, but I think it looks kind of cool. It works pretty well, you know. Bends that far. And then his feet, you know, kind of go up and down a little bit, kind of side to side, but not too much. So, yeah, which I guess can't do much. It's an older figure. They've definitely gotten a lot better. Get him if you like the Avengers, you know, because he had this armor for the majority of the Avengers. Get him if you like Iron Man 2. You know, if you like the triangle look, I say get him. He's got some great paint sculpt. It does chip, so be careful of that. I wouldn't recommend this for super young people, but you know, if you're careful and collectible, you can get him. But he's pretty well sculpted. I'd like to also do a shout out to Explosion 35, who also got this figure. He did an unboxing of it, but he hasn't done a review of the figure. Hopefully he will soon. I'd like to hear his input on this, but check him out anyway. He does a lot of reviews. We and him have seemed to be getting really into Marvel Select, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, and by chip paint, there's a good example. Is he's got a little bit of a paint rubbed on the back of his head, which isn't really getting picked up on the camera, but it's there. He's just got some of the greatest paint and sculpting. Like, I think the Iron Man action figures have the best paint and sculpt. But, oh man, I almost forgot. I gotta do size comparisons. So, comparing him with... Doesn't want to stand up. Oh, sorry about that. I'll just kind of hold him. Comparing him with a Mark 42, you see he's a bit shorter. It kind of works a little bit. He's kind of works having him in scale, but he kind of doesn't. So yeah, but it's okay. Him and Colossus. Colossus definitely bigger. Him with, you know, Deadpool. Deadpool is bigger, which is a bit messed up. Him with this Lizard. Lizard's definitely huge. Him with Venom works out pretty well, you know. And even though he's shorter, you can't get him to fit with Marvel Legends. I guess you could if you could, like, you know, get him kind of crouching a little bit, and kind of like this, and kind of standing in the background of the Marvel Legends. It might work a little bit, but you might be able to pull it off. Or if you can get him like hanging mid-air, kind of works. But yeah, I'm glad to have him. Definitely pick him up. I want to get one other Iron Man Marvel Select. I'm gonna try to get the like comic version of him, not the ultimate version, but you know, I'm just gonna try to stand him up in the space if he wants to stand up. There we go, he's actually standing up quite nicely. So that's my armory. I'm going to try to get, the comic version of Iron Man and maybe have him centered here. So I have one last one. Or if they come out with like an Iron Man, or I hope they come out with more Iron Man armors, like movie armors. Like hopefully Avengers 2 has Iron Man, as Iron Man in it instead of just Tony Stark, and they come out with a new Iron Man for that movie. I don't know. I think this figure is great. Like I'd say maybe an 8.5 out of 10. 10 for 10 in paint work and sculpting, but articulation is a bit lagging. He's not at the top of my list of figures to get, must get. I say figures that are must gets are the Amazing Spider-Man, the Mark, maybe not even the Mark 42, but War Machine, Mark II, maybe the Colossus if you're a Colossus fan. But the figure that is a must get for like any collector is the Venom. This Venom is just incredible. So, I don't know. I'm sometime going to have to do a video. I'm going to do a new video review of him when I get another one. Because this guy's broken, can't move his foot. And so it just disappoints me a little bit. But I will try to get a Venom review soon. And maybe even when I get up to 10 Marvel Selects, I'll do a top 10 Marvel Select video. Which I only have 2 more to go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I only have 2 more to go. Which I'm not sure which figures those will be, but anyway. Catch you for the next one. See you later.